Welcome, everyone. Let's kick things right off with a massive question. Seriously, have you ever stopped and really thought about how the rules that run a country are actually decided? I mean, we see the end results every day, right? But today, we're breaking down the hidden machinery that makes absolutely all of it happen. It's not just about politicians getting on TV and shouting at each other. There is a deeply rooted, highly systematic process working behind the scenes. So today, we are unpacking the nature and significance of political theory based on some truly fascinating source material. We've got a lot of ground to cover in this breakdown, so let's get right into it. So, what exactly is justice? And honestly, what should be the purpose of government in the first place? We so often fall into this trap of thinking that society runs simply because a leader makes a fancy speech or the police enforce a local law. But honestly, that's just the surface level. Beneath all that daily noise, beneath the headlines, are these massive foundational questions. Think about it. Before a law can even be written, someone, somewhere, has to define what is actually fair. They have to figure out what power the state should even have over your life. It's wild when you really think about it. And that brings us to the core of it all. Political theory is the systematic study of concepts related to power, government, society, and their underlying ideas. Okay, I like to think of it as the ultimate operating system of a nation. It is the absolute framework that helps us figure out exactly how the government and society should operate together without crashing. It doesn't just look at who holds the power right now, it asks the tougher questions, like why do they have that power? And way more importantly, how should they actually be using it? Okay, so here is our roadmap for today. We're covering 4 key areas. First, the meaning and features of political theory. Second, the types of theory. Third, its real-world utility. And fourth, responsible citizenship. Starting with Section 1, meaning and features. Let's define the basics here. So political theory isn't just some narrow, isolated subject. It's incredibly interdisciplinary. It pulls together history, philosophy, and economics all into one space. And it's not just about the practical, day-to-day politics you see on the news. It is deeply value-based. It is constantly, relentlessly asking the moral question. What should be? What does an ideal society actually look like? Yet, at the exact same time, it strives to be neutral and reflective. It doesn't act as a cheerleader for any specific political party. No way. It steps back, stays totally free from partisan bias, and analyzes the root causes of political events objectively. It's a balancing act, right? It balances that utopian vision of what we desperately want with the grounded, gritty reality of what is actually possible. Because it touches so many different disciplines, the famous political thinker David Held described political theory as a network of ideas. And I love that phrase. Concepts don't just float around in isolation. They're connected. Take democracy, for example. It literally never stands alone. The very second you talk about democracy, you instantly pull on a giant web of connected ideas, stuff like freedom of speech, the rights of the majority, minority protections, and political representation. It's like a giant puzzle. You just can't understand one single piece without understanding the whole network. Moving right along to Section 2, types of theory. Let's see how this broad subject is broken down. Because the subject covers so much of human history, thinkers have broken it down into distinct traditions. On one side, you have classical theory. Think of the ancient and medieval philosophers, guys like Plato and Aristotle. Their approach was super idealistic and deeply philosophical. They were basically searching for the absolute perfect society. Then, on the other side, we have modern theory, which really gained traction in the 20th century. This approach is a totally different ballgame. It's scientific, it's data-driven, and it's heavily focused on behavioralism. Modern theorists wanted to actually measure things. They wanted empirical facts and logical analysis, rather than just sitting around having philosophical debates. And to perfectly illustrate that older classical tradition, listen to this quote. Aristotle famously said, "Rajya ka udeshya sarva shrisht jivan pradhan karna hai." The purpose of the state is to provide the best life. That right there, that is the absolute heartbeat of classical political theory. It isn't just about managing traffic laws or making sure taxes are collected on time. The ultimate, highest goal of the state in this view is to elevate the human condition and define justice in its most perfect form. Now, before we go any further, we really need to clear up a very common confusion. People mix up theory and ideology all the time. But listen, political theory is analytical and neutral. Political ideology, on the other hand, things like capitalism or socialism, actively takes a side. Think of it this way. Political ideology is like putting on a team jersey and fighting to win the game. Political theory is being the referee and the analyst, looking completely objectively at the rules of the game itself without any bias. Make sense, right?
But here is a massive challenge straight from our text. Is political theory limited only to dusty old books and scriptures? Think about it. In our modern world, a world completely driven by big data, crazy algorithms, and artificial intelligence, does this old-school philosophical analysis actually matter anymore?
Well, let's jump into section 3 to find out. Real-world utility. The short answer is yes, absolutely. This is where those high-level, abstract concepts step out of the classroom and solve actual, grinding problems on the ground. I mean, these concepts literally build governments. When a brand new nation forms, they use political theory to structure their institutions from scratch. It also guides daily policy. For example, let's say a government wants to implement a law prohibiting alcohol. They don't just do it blindly, right? They use political theory to weigh the moral values of the society against the economic impacts and the restriction of personal freedoms. Plus, it provides the analytical tools to look at harsh societal inequality and ask really uncomfortable questions about whether opportunities are truly equal for everyone. Let's set up a really relatable, real-world scenario to make this concrete. Imagine your village or your neighborhood has a completely broken water system. The taps are totally dry. Nobody has water. The people are obviously angry, they're frustrated, and they are out in the streets demanding justice. So, the absolutely crucial question becomes, is it the government's responsibility? See, without political theory, angry citizens just complain about bad service. They're just mad. But political theory completely transforms that complaint. It redefines water as a public good and access to it as a fundamental democratic right. When you shift the language from a mere complaint to a literal violation of human rights, you force leaders to act. That is the true power of theory in action. It changes the whole conversation. And it goes even bigger than that. It empowers citizens to challenge fundamentally unjust systems. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't just express anger about racism. He used the deep political theories of democratic equality to completely dismantle racial segregation in America. Or look at Mahatma Gandhi. He used the principles of satyagraha, truth and nonviolence, to completely delegitimize and overthrow British colonial rule in India. They took abstract theories from paper and turned them into the most powerful tools for protest the world has ever seen. Which sets up our final section perfectly. Number 4, responsible citizenship. Let's connect all of this directly to you. A brilliant, massive example of theory in practice is the drafting of the Indian Constitution in 1947. The founders in that room had incredibly diverse backgrounds, ranging from wealthy industrialists like Birla to fierce social reformers like Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. But how did they agree on anything? They utilized political theory as their common language. They consciously embedded principles of equality, liberty, secularism, and fraternity right into the very DNA of the document to build a just society. They didn't just guess what might work, they applied proven theoretical frameworks to ensure everybody's rights were protected. So, after going through all of this, I have to ask you, are you a conscious citizen? Because honestly, that is the ultimate goal here. Learning the mechanics of political theory doesn't just help you pass a history test, it transforms you into a responsible, active citizen. It equips you to actually understand your rights, to recognize your duties to others, and to know exactly how to effectively participate in the governance of your own community. It gives you a voice. To wrap this whole shebang up, political theory is the vital balance between understanding what is actually happening in the world and fighting for what should be. It's literally the compass for a just society. So I want to leave you with this provocative thought. Now that you can see the hidden machinery behind the rules we live by, what feature of political theory do you find most interesting? Is it that old-school classical search for the ideal life, or are you more into the modern data-driven approach? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Engage with these ideas because as we've seen today, these ideas literally shape your reality. Keep learning, stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next analysis.